Hi everyone. Hi Mom. I'm sitting here playing, working on my design team project for next month. And what I'm doing is just sort of getting some of my elements together, things that I probably will put on a page. And I found these in my drawer. Teresa Collins 36 die cut flowers. They're vintage finds. This is the name. Sorry, I have to adjust my camera here. Give me a second. There we go. Yeah, so they're just flat cardstock flowers. Pretty boring, but they came with a kit. And then I also had pulled out my Tim Holtz Tattered Florals. And if you're wondering why they're white, I do that on purpose with a white gel pen so that I can see. Sometimes you just want like a little piece of paper to go on just one flower. If you outline them, then you can see exactly where it's going to cut. Just a tip. Sorry, my throat's a little funny today. Anyway, I had cut out some of these flowers, the tattered florals, and it was from a piece of paper that I had die cut. Well, I guess I edge punched the page and I didn't end up using it. So when I die cut it, it actually cut some of the... I thought that turned out kind of pretty. Totally didn't do it on purpose. A fluke. Let's put it that way. So I want to show you real quick how you can turn something like that into something that has more interest and more depth. A lot of people already know how to do this, but for... You know, I have a lot of subscribers that are very new to crafting, and so this is just something that, you know, enhances your project, basically. Okay, now I have several tools. I don't know where I got any of them. I'm putting that out there. This is meant for something like this. Then Fisker has one that's smaller balls, so for really tiny projects. This one came as a kit. I'll show you what it came in. I don't know where it's from. It is called Punch Bunch. And this was the kit. It came with tweezers. It came with pokey tools. It came with cutting tools. It's really cool. You just unscrew this end. This comes out. And then, you know, whichever one you want to work with, you just change the size. So I want the bigger one. And so you pop that in and then tighten it back up, and then you've got, you know, a bigger end. And then it came with a little, I haven't used any of those yet, but these are great because these are different sized tips for poking things out. Now, I do remember where I got this. That was actually my local craft store. So I don't know where it comes from originally, but... This I've also had forever. It's also another different size. This works great, and no idea where that came from. It's old. So anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to take your flat flower. This is a piece of foam, and it actually comes with that We Are Memory Keepers. It's the tool where it will pierce your paper. So this is what it's for. When you pierce along your paper, there's foam. So it doesn't mar your tabletop. And I use it for everything. I use it for stamping as well. It works great. So you're going to take your flower. Now this is cardstock. This is just paper. So this you're going to have to push a little harder. But paper you don't need to. Works great on paper. Okay, so you're going to flip it over. And you want the wrong side up. And you're going to just push. You can do it in circles. A lot of people do it in circles. But if you want that crinkly look, which I like, because once I ink it up, it gives it a little bit more interest. And you're just going to rub. So what you're doing is you're breaking down the paper. And it allows for it to have a shape and hold its shape. It's as simple as that. Just push. So then you'll see it start to curl. Now, depending on how much you want to curl, that's how much you work on it. Great thing about this is that if you don't like it, turn it over, do it again. Then I flip it back over, and this is where I'll use a bigger one, and I push in the center because I don't want my petals curling like all the way under. And so then I'll just push down. So you still have your dome shape, but it's flatter to your project, whatever page you're going to put it on. Okay? And then you do it for the next one. So then I've done a little next size down. I'll layer that one. And then I have another one. Now this one I curled up a little bit, like that, so that it kind of curled. Instead of having, if you do it all with the domes down, you're going to have quite a thick flower. So I do it like that. I glue them all together. People use a brad. You can use a brad if you like. I just like using the enamel dots that are homemade. It's a good way to use those up, and they're fairly non-dimensional because you don't want too thick in your project. It's great if you're putting on the front of a book. That's fine because you know, you're not writing over it, but you don't want them too thick. Personally, I a lot of times just do 2 layers so that there's hardly any dimension at all, but I have some interest on my page. Now, if you take your ink and you just ink up after you've done this, you're going to catch some of those edges that kind of creased. And I love that look. I think it makes it look a little bit more vintage. You can use any kind of ink. This is actually archival ink that I'm using right now. And I'm just using one of the Tim Holtz blending tools. You can make your own blending tools using a wooden block and gluing some foam on it. So, you see the difference that makes? It just pops, and it looks like a bought flower when you're all finished. And good grief, you can cut out so many different flowers and, you know, do all kinds of different things with them. And use up your scraps. All of these, except for, you know, these ones here, because I did buy these. But all the other ones I cut out, they're just from scrap paper. You want to get bang for your buck, so if you're going to spend the money on, you know, your Bigs dies or your Sizzix dies, you want to use them. And this way you can personalize the colors to your project. If you don't have a lot of sprays, I have a ton of sprays, but sometimes I just don't feel like getting messy. And so I'll pull out my bins with the different colors in them. So you can see how, you know, that's pretty, right? It just makes it look really nice. And let me grab my box of enamel. So I have a ton of enamel dots. Oh, and these... These were thumbtacks, and this is what the top of the thumbtack was, so I peeled them off and just stuck them on some acetate because I thought they were pretty cool. I got those at the dollar store because somebody's going to ask me that. So, there you go. Simple, pretty, easy, and it will go with the project colors, which I'm not showing you because I can't. Not yet. Okay, so this is the difference between cardstock and then paper. Now, if you use paper, even better because you get less dimension yet again. But this one, I just need to go super gentle because you don't want to tear your paper. Now, if you don't have something this thick and foam, just, you know, use the Fun Foam works or a mouse pad works. Whatever you can find that has a bit of give. So it goes from being kind of, personally, I've never liked the Tattered Floral die when I first got it, but you know, the more I craft and the more I watch other people and discover what they've done, then, you know, I'm discovering that, wow, I actually do really like this die. So I use it a lot more. So there's that one. The little tiny one, I'm just going to actually use this. This guy's a bit smaller. Now this one you can make into a real cute flower. You can do several of these and layer them up into almost like a bud, which is really cute. And I just push that down at the ends, just so it curls back down. And then that just sits in the center. I hope I'm on camera. Sorry, you guys, I moved my camera down, so it's very, very close. And then I have smaller versions. Oh, here's one that fell out, so we'll use that. There. Now, how cute is that? You've got homemade enamel dots done with perler beads. I think those are perlers. And, you know, you can make a ton of beads for your centers, and enamel dots are not cheap. So there's tons of videos because someone's going to ask me to do a tutorial, but there are so many tutorials on making your own enamel dots. So I'm not going to do that. But I wanted to show you that, yeah, you can use them. Like, they're great and they look really cute. So there's my little share for this weekend. In the midst of creating, I've got a huge mess. If I widened out, you'd see more of it. Oh, I can't. That's as far as I can go. It's a mess, trust me. Anyways, yeah, back to work tomorrow, so we will talk next weekend. Have a great week, you guys. Bye.